it's been a very stressful week this week. And oftentimes when I start feeling stressed and I start feeling a tremendous amount of stress or being overwhelmed, I often am missing something in my life. There's something that I'm not doing that I find is important to do. So today, thought I would talk a little bit about, not just about diet or lifestyle, but more about lifestyle, I guess, today. And that is going to be, let me see if I can pull it up on the screen here. Let's see. Oops, that's not the right one. I meant to change the title. So 6 questions. I'm going to type this in so it pops on the screen. To ask yourself daily that, I can't spell it either, daily, that bring joy. All right. Well, hopefully this will pop up on the screen to be able to see it now. All right. 6 questions to ask yourself every day that bring joy. When I start feeling like I'm out of sync or out of balance, things of that nature, I'm usually not doing one of these 6 things. I've not looked at it. I've forgotten about it, or I'm not doing something along those lines. This week has been a stressful week, and I'll probably point out what I haven't been doing that has been difficult and what actually kind of offsets my life and the life of those around me. So just to tell you, those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Nally. I'm a board-certified family physician and a board-certified obesity medicine specialist. I have been in practice about 20 years. For the last 16 of those years, I've been doing low-carbohydrate, ketogenic, or carnivore-ish diets with patients, and busy in a practice. Saw a bunch of patients today, a lot of sick people today, a lot of people that are ill. Coronavirus we found in the office today, or actually should say this week. It's shown up, it's reared its ugly head on our side of the valley, and kind of scary, but we'll talk about it. Anyway, let me dive into these things. So what are the 6 questions? What can we do? I thought I'd give you some information to start with. Number 1, oftentimes, question number 1 is, did you do something strenuous today? If I'm having a rough day, if I'm having a rough week, I often look back and realize, I missed my workout today, or I missed the strenuous activity. If I don't do something physically strenuous, the stress builds up. We talked about cortisol and some of the stress hormones. They become overwhelming, and I start to feel the tension across my neck and in my shoulders. It gets to be where my eyes get heavy. It feels like you're carrying this weight. I have to get out and do something physically strenuous that really causes me to push the muscles in my body. If I do that every day, something strenuous, I actually feel better. And it actually begins to bring joy, especially for men. We live in a society that's sedentary, and there's a lot of men that don't do something strenuous every day. If your man is irritable, if he's grumpy, if he's not feeling himself, it's probably because he didn't do something physically strenuous. This applies to women too, but heavily with men. So what did you do today that was strenuous? I got up this morning, rough day yesterday. Got up this morning, went into his office this morning, missed my workout, and literally thinking. I actually sat down to do my live and thought, do I go run a mile or do I do my live? I did my live for a reason, and so I'll come to that. That's actually one of the reasons here. But I'm probably going to hang up or close this out and go put on my running shoes and go run and do something strenuous to really burn off some steam. So what did you do strenuous today? Next one is what challenge did you lean into today? If you are a male or a female, and you didn't lean into a challenge today, if you didn't do something that pushed you a little bit, it saps your joy. If you just sat on the couch, ate bonbons, and watched Netflix, you're not going to feel good. And the reason is you weren't challenged. You need to have something that challenges you and does something important every day, even if it's a small challenge. Do something that is a challenge. One of the reasons I poured concrete is the last time I poured concrete was probably 20 years ago. And last weekend I decided, what am I going to do? I'm going to pour some concrete. So I poured 2 concrete slabs. In the process, had some challenges, had to be able to figure out how to put rebar into place. So I had to pull out my forge, bend some rebar, and do some stuff that was a challenge. Felt amazingly good and felt joy after that. So important things to do, something different than I do, outside of the norm. I leaned into a challenge. What did you do to lean into a challenge today? Third, did you spend some time pursuing your passion today? I'm passionate about diet. I'm passionate about hormones. I'm passionate about those things. I have to spend a little time each day reading about those things, studying about those things. I'm trying to understand a concept in the human body that is different. And if I don't spend a little bit of time each day pursuing those passions that I find fascinating, it saps my joy, and I don't feel as much joy. So what did you do to pursue passion today? If you didn't do something to pursue passion, even if it was for 5 minutes, it's sucking up your joy. What did you learn today that brought you value? Did you do something today that brought you value? Every day I'm learning something, and I have to force myself to do it. Some days I don't want to, but I find that if I look for an answer, I search through something. I'm a reader, and I like to read about medical information and some of the deep concepts that are hard to grasp and wrap my head around. And so I find that every day I'm spending a little time doing that. Studying a little history, studying a little this, a little that, whatever it is that you do that you learned, whether that was something you learned to do physically, whether that was a new skill, whether that was something educational, whether that was a book. What did you learn today that brought you value? And can you write down, I learned this today in regards to that value? One of the things that somebody said to me was, oh, this quinine thing is great. Quinine's going to save the world. There are some people out there, apparently doctors that aren't really physicians. There are other forms of practitioners claiming you're supposed to eat a bunch of quinine. So today I spent time rereading a bunch of information I knew about quinine and realizing that's a stupid thing and it's a dangerous thing. And there are reasons we don't use large amounts of quinine with just everyone and their dog. But those are some things that brought me value and helped me to be able to feel stable in a situation in life with this crazy virus going on that helps me understand how do we approach this with people that are ill or that are not ill. For you, that may be something different. That may be something that relates to your field of work, your home, your family, something of that nature. And then lastly, what value did you bring to others today? One of the reasons that I do these lives is is to bring value to you. A lot of what I do is my experience, my learning that I'm sharing because I think that it's important to share and it's important to have other people be able to think about these concepts and understand them. And so one of the things that I do that brings me joy is bringing value to others. So did you bring value to others today? A lot of people feel hopeless because they don't have an interaction or they don't feel like they can bring value to other people. When you can bring value to another person, whether that's through a smile, a handshake, something you said, something you did, something you helped them with, it actually brings you great joy. So important to look at. So those are the 6 things. I'll go back through them again really quickly. What strenuous activity did you do? Let's see if it'll change screens here. What challenge did you lean into today? So I'm just going to summarize them. Number 3, did you spend some time pursuing your passion? Did you learn? What did you learn? What did you learn today that brought you value? And lastly, what value did you bring to others today? So those are the 6 questions that you could look at. I forgot one. And the most important one, that's only 5. So question number 6, you should ask yourself every day, and you can either open the day or close the day with this. And I find it's very important. I don't even know why I forgot it. What 10 things are you grateful for? Great quote that I love is that if you spend some time thinking about the things that you're grateful this day, you'll eventually find yourself exalted with great joy. The issue is that if you'll focus on 10 things that you're grateful for, it brings a tremendous amount of gratitude and happiness and joy, and you actually find that depression and anxiety dramatically diminishes. A lot of people that are in my office that are anxious and feeling anxiety have not looked back to say, what 10 things am I actually grateful for today? You could be dead today. Walked into a room this morning and I asked the person, how are you guys doing? And he said, I'm horrible. I said, well, why are you horrible? Oh, because I worry about this and I'm worried 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 about this. So I said, well, you could be pushing up daisies this morning, and changes your perspective. Be grateful. Count 10 things that you're grateful for, and it will actually change the perspective on how you look at the day. So if I am having a rough day, it's usually because I'm not doing one of those 6 things. I haven't spent a little bit of time focusing on each of those 6 aspects in my life. So importantly, I wanted to share those things with you today to bring some value to you and hopefully uplift you. So that is my little 9 minute and 52 second soapbox on 6 questions to ask yourself daily that bring joy in life. And I will close that out and answer a few questions. And then I'm going to probably go put on running shoes and blow off some steam. So let me dive in here and see. Hello, Patty, and Patty's in Orlando. Hey, Patty. And then there's Marianne and Wynette from Pennsylvania. Hello, Crystal and Kathy and Nina. You are welcome, Nina. It's good to be part of this. Yes, stay healthy. That's important. Hello, Pat from Virginia and Tony from Goodyear. Sue, hello, from the land of gooey butter cake and toasted ravioli. Oh, gee. Is that keto? Pre-keto St. Louis specialties. All right. Trim the bushes today. That was strenuous. Well, there you go, Lisa. Some strenuous activity. Hello, Mark from Wyoming. Good evening, Terry. Let's see, 4.5 mile walk today. That's awesome, Robin. All right. You can hear my cat in the background. I'm grateful for my cats, by the way. They actually are wonderful. Although one of them sleeps on my wife's head and drives her insane. I woke up the other morning. She says, I haven't slept. Cat keeps trying to get on my head and sleep. Hello from Carrizo Springs, Texas. Yes, you caught me live 2 nights in a row, Vicky. You actually did. You let the dog pull you around the block. That's awesome. Not strenuous, but just got back from a 4-mile walk. That's awesome, Patty. Good for you. We love that. Hello, Eric. And watching the news is a challenge. It is, Mike. I actually, the last 2 days, had to turn it off. I was getting so mad. I just, it is better to blow. People keep sending me stuff, and they send me, bless their hearts. And if you're one of those people, I love you, but stop sending me crap. I'm so tired of watching people's third-hand garbage on a video that's 10 minutes long. They send me stuff saying, would you watch this and tell me what you think of this? It's like, okay, if it's third-hand, if it's not primary information, it's like watching bad news. Anyway, did yoga for the first time, Marianne says. That's awesome. Good for you. Filled out some responses for employees fund from unemployment. Oh, brother. We can eat bonbons. No, you can't. Well, if they're low-carb bonbons, yes. Although I've not found any good low-carb bonbons. Watching, let's see, much better. Oh, you seem much better today than yesterday. Yesterday was, I wasn't even broadcasting yesterday. Yesterday was so bad. I didn't even come on live. It was a horrible day. But today is a little better. Yes. And I am exhausted today, but it's because I've literally been, it's been crazy. We've had to change to doing telemedicine, and it takes me twice as long to actually do the visit and then document the visit. It's just been crazy. And then I've got 3 staff members that are out sick. Actually, I've had 4 staff members out sick. So half my staff team is gone. And so I'm not whining. It's just been rough. So if I looked like I was a bit strained, then yes, I was. Someone asked me if I was drinking on Monday. No, I don't drink. Stained the deck with your husband. That's awesome. Passion, value, probably nothing today. Did listen to a lesson from Tommy Nelson. Well, you learned something. There you go. Made him happy. It helped. Oh, good. Cut unfunded vendor checks that I'm unable to mail yet. Depressing. Look forward to the day when they can be sent. Oh, good for you, Nancy. All right. You are such a blessing. Oh, you're kind, Bev. Thank you much. All right. Let's see here. Hello, Julia, pardon me. And there's Helen, and thank you for bringing joy today. You're welcome, Linda. Bob in South Detroit. Hello. There's Belinda from Mississippi. Marianne says that we inspire her. That's awesome. Hello from Louisiana, says Alicia. Welcome from Corpus Christi. All right, let's see here. Is a little tonic water and zinc okay? So Berkeley, remember now, one of the challenges you need to realize is that tonic water actually has some sugar in it. So be careful with tonic water. Not all of them are created equal. So check that first. Tonic water does have a small amount of quinine, and that's okay. But with this coronavirus that's out there, this particular virus actually affects the way the body handles oxygen transportation and carbon dioxide transportation. Now, a lot of people assume that because hydroxychloroquine is effective in some cases with it, that it's the heme element or the iron element that's being affected, but we don't really know that answer. So with that assumption, people are saying, well, anything that affects that must be good. So let's load people full of quinine. Well, there's been no data to show that loading people full of quinine is effective. We know that hydroxychloroquine and chloroquine work with a number of mechanisms that we have no concept of. There's a number of things they do that we don't fully understand at this point and how they work. One of the things that we do know, though, is that zinc and melatonin work, and that zinc and melatonin are key factors in helping an enzyme called carbonic anhydrase convert carbonic acid back to carbon dioxide so people can exhale. And respiratory drive is driven not by oxygen need, but by carbon dioxide buildup. And so the challenge is if you build up your carbon dioxide level and you can't expel it, you can actually get really, really short of breath and you can actually hyperventilate and have trouble with that. So one of the questions is it an oxygen transport issue? Is it a carbon dioxide transport issue? I've not seen any data either way that tells us anyone knows the answer to that. But a lot of people are now making a lot of assumptions and posting videos about this and telling the world to go out and drink bucket loads of quinine, which is actually dangerous. And so I'm not a big fan of, a little bit of quinine has some benefit in some degrees, but there were some significant deaths that occurred because of large amounts of quinine. So again, there's a whole bunch of internet physicians out there that I'm worried about what's being said. I have to be very careful what I say because people interpret what I say as medical advice, and it's not. What I talk about is just basically information. Excuse my two cats that think they're dying. Anyway, they're not. Your dogs may be barking at the screen now. All right. Anyway, I'm rambling off on a tangent. Great view. You made my day. Oh, good. Hello from Ontario, says Carol. Hello, Doctor. Hello, Andrea. You finally caught me live. Knew me from, it's Andrea Epperson. Hello, Andrea. How are you? Good to see you. Dr. Nally, Cindy from South Carolina. Hello, Cindy. Good evening. All right. Let me see if there's any questions. I'm going to jump through here because I don't want to ramble too long. I went for a walk today, over 8,000 steps. That's awesome. Says Kathy. Cindy is here from Beeville, Texas. Good to see you. Let's see. We all get to whine sometimes. We do. That's true. China Grove, North Carolina. That's awesome. Hello, Dennis. Let's see. Sikeston, Missouri. That's all over the country. This is awesome. Bismarck, North Dakota. Is it cold in Bismarck, Randy, now? Or is it warming up there? Hello from Texas. There's Nita. Hello from California, Joan. And let's see, on Friday, when fasting, is it okay to drink beta-hydroxybutyrate drinks? So, Patty, if you're truly fasting, beta-hydroxybutyrate is actually a form of, it's basic. Remember, beta-hydroxybutyrate is essentially a medium chain fat that's been broken in half. We make ketones, beta-hydroxybutyrate, by taking caprylic acid, which is a medium chain fat, and breaking it in half. So in essence, a ketone is a form of fat. It's just been broken up. So people say, it's not really food. It actually is food. It's fat. It's a form of fat. It's taken from a medium chain triglyceride and essentially turned into a small chain triglyceride. So if you're drinking exogenous ketones, you're not truly fasting. And that's the problem, is that it's not really a fast if you're doing that. If you're truly fasting, you're either taking in no protein, no fat, and no carbohydrate, if that makes sense. All right. You're live. I think I'm live, Tony. At least my computer says I'm live. If I'm not live, I'm in trouble. In a stall, what do I recommend? Nicole, I always recommend going back to the basics. Are you lowering the carbs? Are you getting enough protein? Are you eating too much fat? Is there a sweetener in your diet that's causing you causing the stimulus of insulin? Is there something else in your diet that's causing the stimulus of insulin, like teas or something like that? Is there something driving an inflammatory process in your body that's causing a problem? That way, those are the basics. I'd go back to that. Look at the basics first. Will there be a test to check antibodies for COVID-19? Alicia, I have seen 3 companies that have already started posting that they actually have antibody tests, but they all want to charge me $400 to do it, charge you $400 to do it, and it's not covered by anybody. But I know there are antibody tests that are out there right now, and they're claiming that they're like 96 to 98% effective in regards to their test. But in fact, one of them sent me an email yesterday and said, we'll do it for $200. Why would I want to pay you $200 for a test that no one else is going to cover? That's one of the challenges that I'm finding. There are antibody tests. I think they are available, but how widespread they're going to be and how effective they're going to be. If you're sick, and you haven't worked for 2 weeks because you've been out of work, do you really want to pay $200 to get a test? I don't know. Hello from Texas. Hey, Mandy, how are you? All right. If I don't say hello to you, don't be offended. I'm going to scan past here and just check on some questions. Are you still doing a 3-day fast till Easter? I'm not doing a 3-day fast, Marianne. I'm doing a 24-hour fast. So this coming Friday, we're going to do a 24-hour fast, fasting and prayer for all those that have been affected by COVID-19. I have patients in my practice that have it. I'm worried that I may have some staff that might have it. So we've quarantined some staff. So there's some challenges that are there. We're waiting on tests to come back there. So we're going to do a fast on Friday, and it's a worldwide fast. I know a number of churches are joining in with my church to do this. A number of people from all around the world. So it's going to be another worldwide fast. I'm going to start mine sometime around 7 or 8 o'clock. I'll have dinner tomorrow night, and then I won't eat until dinner the next day on Friday evening. So it'll be a Good Friday fast is what we're going to do. Start the Easter holiday off right. All right. When is the group fast going to start? Mark, hopefully I answered the question. Tomorrow night, 7 to 8 p.m. sometime. Now, I'm Mountain Standard Time. Some of you might be Mountain Daylight Time. Some of you may be Pacific Time. Some of you may be Eastern Time. Some of you may be Central Time. Mountain Standard Time right now in Arizona, it's 7:53. I think we're similar to, we're an hour. We're now behind. I think this time of year we're similar to Pacific Time. Arizona doesn't change their time zones. Thank you, Arizona. The one thing that I disagree with that Benjamin Franklin did was daylight savings. I hate daylight savings. So Arizona does not change time zones. It always confuses everybody else. We stay the same time. I never have to switch my clocks. It's wonderful. But I have to figure that out with other people, because when other people call me and go, no, it's mountain daylight time. It's Mountain Standard Time. They get confused. Anyway, all right. Let's see. Yes, it's snowing today, said Brandy. Is that up there in Wyoming? No, I'm sorry. You told me North Dakota. All right. Lynette's from Rockford. Hello. Let's see. I live in Surprise. Did you say COVID is here? Oh, yes, Patricia. COVID is here. It's here. Great to see you again. Could you refer me to the LDL tape you have probably made? So, Bobby, I've done a number of cholesterol videos. Go to youtube.com/Dr. Nally. There's about 100 videos there. If you scroll down into the favorite section or look for the cholesterol section, there's one on cholesterol there. And if you go to docmuscles.com on my website, and you click on the blog section, there's a little search bar on the right-hand side. Type in cholesterol or type in LDL, and it'll take you to the blogs post that I have and the links to the videos that I've tied there as well. Your stance on saunas, do you say yay or nay? Saunas work for, the problem with saunas, there's a lot of information that's out there. Saunas are beneficial because they raise the body temperature, but saunas can also have some detrimental effects. To be honest, I have not looked at a lot of the literature on saunas really heavily. I live in Arizona. It is like a sauna 3 months out of the year in here. So I really have no desire to get into a sauna all the time, because 3 months of my life is a sauna. Is that beneficial? To some degree, yes. That raise in body temperature does inactivate viral and bacterial replication to some degree, but we also know that too much of a sauna can slow down metabolisms in some capacities, change pHs, have some other detrimental effects, and some people with disease processes probably don't benefit from them. But again, that's an area that I have not delved into hugely, just because I really haven't had interest in it. Because July, August, and September in Arizona is a sauna. Let's see, your stance on, that was the sauna one. That was Cheryl, pardon. Hopefully I didn't offend you with that, Cheryl. I know there are some keto people that love their saunas. More power to them. If they want to move to Arizona, I guarantee they won't bring their sauna with them. Hello from, oh, cool. You're very welcome, Stephanie. Stephanie, good to see you. Coffee on fast, black. So I don't drink coffee, but as we've looked at the studies that look at fasting show that coffee does not have a detrimental effect to the fast. So I don't mind black coffee if my patients ask me about that. I'm not a coffee fan. And I still think that with the 50 trace elements in coffee, there still may be issues with coffee, but I don't recommend instant coffee. That raises the insulin level in some of my patients, not blood sugar. It raises insulin in some of my patients with some of the instant coffee. So I'm not a fan of instant coffee at all. Are you still practicing in Surprise? I've been practicing in Surprise, Andrea, for 20 years. Yes, I am still here. Not going anywhere soon. Let's see. Hello from Boozman, Montana. Hello, Donna. How are you? What is your favorite immune booster right now? My favorite immune booster, Brandy, is bacon grease. Good evening, Dr. Nally. Working from home during the day, keeping busy. Hello. Let's see. This is Denise. Let's see. Quilting, embroidering, sticking to good eating. Good for you. That's awesome. Waiting this out. Barbara is in Alabama. Hello, Barbara. How are you? All right, cool. Let me just see if there's any other questions in here. You are welcome for the LDL link. Hopefully you found it, Bobby. Hope you're able to get that. Miss you on podcasts. I don't miss Jimmy, though. Will you ever start up a regular podcast about keto? There was no one like you. Well, Bob, you are very kind. Thank you. You know, Bob, I have mixed feelings on this. There are so many podcasts out there about keto and health and things like that. I would love to do it. The challenge is dedicating. It literally took me 4 to 6 hours a week to just have the data and be on target with that data. So the challenge is having that amount of time to spend and put into that type of a podcast to make it valuable for you. The challenge is that I just didn't have the time to do it. I've thought about it a lot. I'd like to do it. If there was some way I can do it, I will. But it's been spinning in the head here. All right, my blood sugar is normally around 85. Lately, it's been 105 to 120. Total carbs under 20. I've been stressed and not sleeping well. Yes, absolutely. Poor sleep and large amounts of stress will raise your fasting blood sugar. Absolutely will raise it. Does sunshine boost immunity? Yes, Bev, it does actually. It's actually been shown to boost immunity. Got a pattern eating keto cakes, Rebel ice cream. Dennis, oh, shame on you. January, March, and my triglycerides went from 108 to 188. So bless Rebel ice cream's heart. They use some sweeteners that will raise your insulin. And so if you're eating keto cakes and ice cream, you're not keto. It'll kick you out. So you got to somehow get that out of your diet if you want that triglyceride to come back down. This was coming from the way you're eating. Yes, I love Rebel ice cream. It tastes good, but it'll raise my insulin and it'll raise my triglycerides. How much zinc should I take a day? Well, Heather Huey, how are you? I recommend 10 to 30 milligrams daily as a baseline amount. My vitamin has 15 milligrams in it a day. If you're using my vitamin, somewhere between 10 and 30 is adequate as a baseline stabilizing amount of zinc. Hello, Kimberly says, thank you for that. You're very, very welcome. How many days a week should you fast? Oh, as Nicole, as many as you want to. The issue is, listen to your body. Now, some people say, you can't do that. People don't know how to listen to their body. They're not very good at it. People don't give you and I very much credit. You know how your body functions. And so and if you have a specific reason you're fasting, I guess my question is, why would you, if you're going to fast, there needs to be a reason for the fast. You need to be doing it for specific benefits. If you know that the fast will give you specific benefits, great, do it. But remember too, your body also needs nutrients. And so you need to give your body certain nutrients to get certain benefits. So a lot of people ask me, well, should I do keto? Should I fast? First question I ask is what's your goal? Second question I ask is, what is that keto? What is that carnivore? What is that fast going to do for you? And if you're just mixing them up because you don't know what you're doing, why do it? You need to understand what the basic reasoning behind it is. What have I heard about quinine? Oh, I rambled on about this already, Mike, at the first part of this. Don't get me started. Quinine itself is not a legitimate treatment that anyone has seen success with. Chloroquine, hydroxychloroquine, there are 2 studies that showed it to be effective and 1 study that showed it to be absolutely worthless. So the question is, what's the outlier there? We don't know. The guy from St. Louis is a chiropractor. He's not a physician. He's not an MD. He's a chiropractor. He does vitamin therapy, as far as I can understand on him. I'm not trying to badmouth him. I just think that telling a bunch of people to take a bunch of quinine has the potential to kill some people. So I am not a fan of that. If you're going to use hydroxychloroquine, you need to understand the tremendous risks that are associated with hydroxychloroquine. I use it all the time with my patients, but there are significant risks with that drug, and just throwing that drug on board with other things has some significant cardiac potential that can be problematic. So, the treatments that are out there that seem to have the most effective benefit in 2 studies, not the third, is a combination of hydroxychloroquine, azithromycin, zinc, melatonin, and vitamin C. Those 5 things put together seem to be beneficial for those that have moderate to severe hospitalized cases. But throwing quinine out there with zinc has some significant cardiac potential. And I think that some people need to be really careful making those recommendations because those two, some combination of those can stop some people's hearts. So I would be a little cautious about that. And make sure you know what the risk and benefit of using quinine is, and you know what how it will interact with other medicines you're taking, and how it may affect your heart. Because there are some significant reasons that we would use them or not use them in that regard. Always listening. In Cash Wyoming, our numbers went up exponentially today. Yeah, they're gonna this in the next 3 days. We're gonna see spikes in all across America. If the numbers seem to be working the way we think they're going to work, although our quarantining has been beneficial, at least according to what it looks like. Anyway, working tonight over in Phoenix. Thanks for doing these. You're welcome, Christine. Hope all's well with you. Do you think keto will help our guarding? I think the keto is going to absolutely help guard, because remember, this is the coronaviruses are the common cold. The common cold that we deal with every year that all of us get is a coronavirus. It's one form of an RNA-based coronavirus. This particular coronavirus has a specific coating that allows it to enter the lung cell in a specific way and has a specific effect on the way the body handles carbon dioxide transport and or oxygen transport. We're not totally sure yet. We have some suspicion. The challenge is that those people that are most susceptible to this particular coronavirus seem to be the ones that are metabolically unstable and have metabolic syndrome, meaning their insulin resistance is out of control. And it's leading to, they have high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes that's out of control. People with kidney stones, gout, all of these risk factors are not under control, and they're the ones that are most susceptible to problems. So if you're following a ketogenic lifestyle and your insulin's under good control, your blood sugar's under pretty good control, you're much, much less likely, in my perspective, to have problems with this particular virus if you get infected. I hope that helps clarify things. For food, let's see, for food journaling, do you recommend pen and paper, or is there a specific app? I have not found an app that just sings to me, Sarah. I wish I could find one, but there's not one that sings to me. And I've looked at lots of them. I played with lots of them. I initially did pen and paper. It seemed to be more beneficial for me a few years ago. Right now, I currently use MyFitnessPal because it's simple, and I have all the food that I normally eat throughout the week. I can just hit the button that pulls it in already, but it took some time for me to put those in. The problem is it keeps telling me I eat too much fat all the time and tells me I'm naughty and gives me problems. Even though I've set my macros differently, it keeps telling me that I'm a naughty boy because I eat too much fat. And so you have to understand the pros and cons of each app. I don't have one I like yet. If you have one you like, let me know. Let's see. Have you had a hypothyroid patient who did not respond to Armour and Nature-Throid? I have a lot of patients that didn't do well with Armour and Nature-Throid, Carla. I have a lot of patients that didn't do well with Synthroid, and I have a lot of patients that do well with Armour. Armour and Nature-Throid have some pros and cons in the way they're designed. I have some patients that have been allergic to all of them. So I have a whole broad spectrum of patients that we have to try to hunt that down, if that makes sense. Are there different recommendations for counting leafy greens, vegetables on a keto way of eating? Are there different recommendations? Oh, of course there are. There's as many different recommendations. Well, let me put it this way. If you take 5 doctors and you put them in a room, you'll get 6 different opinions. But how much leafy green do I recommend? Well, number one, I tell people eat. If you're craving leafy greens, that's fine to eat them. But if you cook them, it does activate carbohydrate. 1 cup of uncooked leafy green is equivalent to 10 grams of carbs. 1 cup of cooked leafy greens, like spinach, is half cup of cooked leafy greens is 10 grams of carbs. When you cook the leafy green, it actually activates more carbohydrate. It doubles it. And it's that way with every vegetable as well. So I don't push a large amount of vegetables. If people want to use raw leafy greens to wrap their burger in or something like that, I don't mind that. But I actually have stopped pushing heavy recommendations on leafy greens unless the person is highly estrogen dominant. And then those leafy greens do help to pull estrogen out of the system a little easier. But I've stopped pushing them. I tell people, personally, I'm 90% carnivore most of the time. I'll do a leafy green once or twice a week, maybe. So I wish you were my doctor, says Sarah. Sandy, I can't find a good one in York, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry. And I don't know anyone out there either. Let's see, had a gastric bypass 10 years ago before I knew I had Hashimoto's, and I had my thyroid removed. Keep trying to eat more towards carnivore, but can't keep most down. Can't keep most down. Not quite sure what you mean by that, Joyce. There are probably 3 or 4 things going on there that you would need to address. And so I would say the Hashimoto's is a completely different entity and needs to be addressed. And your insulin resistance is probably driving it. And so there's a whole slew of things. I've actually written articles on that. So go check out my thyroid articles. Go check out my thyroid information on my YouTube page at docmuscles.com, at youtube.com/Dr. Nally. They said today in Maricopa County, the curve for COVID started slightly downward. I heard that as well. I did hear that as well. What do you think about CBD oil and THC for pain? I don't like THC at all, Lupe. I think I am not a fan of THC at all. CBD oil, I don't mind, but I've had some people get positive and negative benefit from CBD oil. So I am not a huge fan of, I don't push either one. I don't mind people using CBD oil, but THC I am not a fan of because it actually has some significant side effects. I live in Missouri and my cousin's in Mesa once or twice a year. Could you, yeah. So I have patients, Helen, that come and see me once a year. In Arizona, I have to at least see you face-to-face once a year in my office. Because we do telemedicine, I have patients that will come in and see me once a year for a base visit, and then I take care of them via telemedicine that way. That's one way we can do things with some patients, yes. If I ate veggies, I'd never keep my carbs down. Phyllis, that's one of the things I found too, was I found that I ran away with the veggies too much, and I'm still so insulin sensitive, insulin resistant, causing sensitivity to carbs. I mean, that it's a problem. So, well, guys, those are great questions. Very good questions. Let me see here. Any others that are popping up here? Hopefully I answered your questions. Let's see. Thank you. I hope all are well. Let's see. I got that one. Well, guys, if there's no other burning questions, I'm going to probably sign off. But remember to keep up the good work. Stay safe. Wear your mask. If you don't have a mask, this is the mask that my wife has got. It's my Star Wars mask. I'll model it for you. Wear your mask. We know that it decreases your risk of exposure by 10 to 40%, and and if you are positive, it decreases your exposure to other people. So keep it up there. If you go to my website, drmuscles.com, click on the picture of me with a mask, and it'll take you to a blog post that has a link to that pattern that's free. And you can get that. You can, if you are a seamstress or you know one, you can follow them there. Do I have a brand of melatonin that I use? I think ours, the one we're using right now, Barbara, is Nature's Plus. I think that's the one we got. I have not found a perfect melatonin brand yet, but that's the one I'm currently using, and it seems to be effective. Always good to see you. Thank you, Vicky. Good to see you. You guys have a great night. Mark, yes, I'm going to go put on my running shoes and go for a run. So if you see me on the road, wave or honk, just don't hit me. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. You guys have a great evening. Remember, this is Dr. Nally. I'm a board-certified family physician, board-certified obesity medicine specialist. And remember to keep the fat high, keep the carbs low, and pass the bacon. You guys have a great evening. We'll talk to you soon. Take care, guys. Good night.